Okay, drawing one. This is going to be our last assignment. It's another figure drawing assignment where we're dealing with the structure. Once again, we said the structure were the cylinders, right? The boxes and the egg shapes, right? And the gesture is really how those things go together. So you'll see the drawing I'm going to post up. It should be, I'll post it on the screen here. It's a Rubens drawing of a female figure standing. And so it's basically a straight line, but there are some curves in the gesture that we're going to look at. So I'm going to start with the back here, into the hips, and just kind of mark where that halfway area roughly is. And then the legs coming down. But the right leg is bearing most of the weight, so it's more straight. The left leg has more of a curve to it, right? Her back is twisted from her hips. So her hips line is here. We can put a kind of an egg shape for that. Cylinder for the leg, right? I'm not trying to get the contour exactly right. I'm just trying to get it close. I'm scribbling lines in to get it to where I want it, and then I can make it really exactly what I want. Okay. Now with the back, we're going to get more of a cylinder shape kind of headed this way. The shoulder can be a ball, the arm. Okay, and I can check some lines here coming down the straight side of the body. Right, if I come in, the leg cuts in. And if I check a line here, I can see that her knee is coming right under her shoulder. Okay, and the other hip is right below this arm, so we have that. Okay, her head is going to be here. Okay, and so we do have this gesture that's kind of going like that, almost like an S shape from there, right? We could say it's like that, right? And so even if we don't get that right off the bat, we can build up to that. Okay, and once I have the basic building blocks, the structures, there's her arm. You can make it into some cylinders and then shape it. There's another cylinder over here going to the elbow. She has some sort of a towel on her head. Drying her hair or something. One thing we want to remember about this kind of drawing too with the structures is that we don't really want to go draw, I'll use this part here, don't want to be doing concave lines. This is pushing in here because I have a convex line here and a convex line here running into each other. So if I have a convex line like that, a convex line like that, that's going to look like it's pushed in, right? Not that I'm drawing it in convex, I'm pushing two, or concave, I'm putting two convex forms together to make it concave. There's a ball of the hip, the top of the pelvis here, and then there's the top of the cylinder of the leg. When I get those two together, once again, here and here, it pushes into a concave shape, okay? Let's get that straight weight of that back leg. There's the cylinder, right? We start with the cylinders like we did last week, and then we slowly manipulate and change the way it's shaped, depending on how we want it. It takes a lot of practice, guys. Just be patient with yourself. If it's not perfect right off the bat, don't beat yourself up. It never is. It takes a lot of years of practice, but we want to at least look at some way to simplify this, to learn this in drawing one. How to simplify this form, okay? And there's the top of my cylinder of the leg. There's the top of the shape of the hips here. And we're going to come down. So you see this knee is kind of facing out this way, and this knee is kind of facing out the back of the knee. We can put the shape, there's like a round egg shape for the calf. There's actually two of them. There's a lower muscle here that gives a shape to that muscle. But once again, that looks concave in it because I have this convex shape and this convex shape. And the feet, I'm just going to find the angle there. The feet don't have to be perfectly drawn. And I'm going to do the same thing here since we have shadow that I did with the drawing last time, is we're just going to map out the shadow shape. We're going to map it out. We could even put some of the negative shapes that are shadow shapes. In other words, the background shapes that are dark. We can put those in, okay? So right here, like in where her arm is, we can start to put that in as a shadow shape. Okay, over here, where her other arm is, we had it kind of indicated here. We can squint down and put that in as a shadow shape, okay? And over here, I can just draw out these shadow shapes and just put them in. They don't have to be anything fancy. When you start, I'm going to map out this shadow shape. It's going to come over here. It's going to come down here. It's going to come over here. I already kind of started that one. It's going to come up here. And it's going to come over here and down the leg. And then over here. And we have a little one here. So I've just mapped out the figure, mapped out the shadow shapes, and now I'm just going to fill in those shadow shapes, and we'll see what happens with that as we do that. This one could be down a little more. I'm going to adjust that line just a little bit as I go. We have some little shadow shapes over here and down the leg here. And now once I have that, this leg might be kicked in just a little too much. And I can get some of those other dark background shapes in. And so we don't have an awful lot of straight lines in this, as you can see. So we keep those curvy, egg-shaped, and cylindrical forms. Like so. If we darken some of that up, oh, I forgot this mapped out shadow shape on the leg here too. know, we can fill in the background to accentuate the lights, right? And so we don't have to do that on the whole thing, but now some of these initial lines that I put in, I just use a paper towel or something. I can just put some tone in there and then rub that around a little bit. And some of those initial lines we put in aren't even going to read. I can see them. You might not be able to see them on the video as well as I can see them, but there's nothing awful about them. They could be just considered, you know, process lines, which is what they are. Now, if I want to, on some of this, I can come in at a later point and start to erase some of those lines. And I don't have to get really picky with it. Just trying to get a good view of this. Okay. So I think about this as a cylinder. I can go around the form the same way I would draw around this, you know, make it curved. I can go around the leg like that on both legs, actually, and start to indicate some of that. And so just like with the last drawing, even if you only get the basic shapes in a structure like this, where we had our basic shapes and then some of the outer contour, some of the contour lines going on, and the shadow shapes put in, that would probably be good. You know, this isn't exactly a finished drawing, but it's getting there. It's close enough to understand that structure and the pose, you know, to try to get all the different curves, the S curve that's there, and the structures, the shapes in. Think about the arms and legs as cylinders, you know, the head, the hips maybe, the rib cage as egg shapes, you know, maybe more of the blocky forms like the knees as blocks, you know, that could be a blocky form there. There are a lot of straight lines there. Good practice with that. And see what you can do with that. Okay, but that's it. That's our Rubens drawing. That'll be the last thing we have to hand in for this semester. And I'll be messaging you guys too. So, all right, well, good luck with that, and I'll be in touch with you.